find it. It doesn't seem to be on any of these stations.
Keep looking.
Oh, you're going too slow. Let me take the wheel.
It's too fast. How could you even tell what's on?
I can tell. Too late, I'm in the 40s. Gotta go around the horn. It's faster.
Hi, you know me as Cowboy Luna, and I'm here today because I owe you an apology. You know what? I don't deserve my title as Cowboy today because, as you know, dear viewer, in my last video, I made a pretty big claim that Shrek 2 was the greatest sequel of all time. But recently, I happened to come across another animated sequel that I love very dearly. Because, fun fact, before there was any of my other hyperfixations that you may very well know, such as the moon, Legos, arts and crafts, cats, and even the big one, yeah, that's right, before Zelda, there was something else. Something I never found myself going back to. Until recently.
And you, my friend, are responsible for delaying my rendezvous with Star Command. You are a toy! You are a child's plaything! You are a sad, strange little man.
Bruh.
Have my pity. Farewell.
Yeah, that's right. It was Toy Story. Now, I don't know where my current Jessie doll is, but as you can tell from this photo, I really loved her. I made her into a weird Barbie Jessie doll. You know what? Screw it. I'm putting the hat back on. I'm putting the hat back on for this. Ooh, I'm putting the hat back on. Ooh. I truly owe a lot of my love for cowboys and space-related things to these movies, I'm not gonna lie. Now, you, dear viewer, are maybe asking, why are we talking about Toy Story right now? You don't really seem to be a big Disney head or Disney adult, if you will. Well, besides the fact that literally yesterday, as I'm filming this, Toy Story 5 released in theaters. I know what you're thinking, why is there a fifth Toy Story? I don't know. As big corporations have been losing their spark of creativity and just rebooting and remaking and continuing to milk different franchises, which is so fun to watch the same story loop over and 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 over. No, I'm not fond of it. And then am I gonna consume every little thing that a corporation makes as they remake the same story and over again?
Huh? Bruh.
I don't want to talk about that right now. Okay? We're talking about Toy Story. Damn it, especially growing up in the prime age of Pixar. Besides movies like Toy Story, we had Monsters, Inc., Finding Nemo, Cars, Ratatouille. Lately, the sort of magic that Disney and Pixar has to offer is, quite dim. And a lot of Pixar movies have some sequels that I'm not so fond of. I remember having really high expectations for Finding Dory, and while it's not a bad movie, it's just kinda eh. But I also think when it comes to sequels, I stay pretty wary. Sequels have this ability to fall flat for me, personally. Just remaining in this sort of plain, stagnant motion, not really having much to offer. Kind of like when someone dies and they're hooked up to a heart monitor and it's just beep. And yes, while I obviously praise Shrek 2 for all of its glory, I made a pretty big claim by saying it's the greatest sequel of all time. And while I'm not gonna take that statement back, there's a couple of other movies where I really do enjoy the sequel way more than I enjoy the first movie. You gotta add something, you know? You gotta add something new. Gotta add in lovable characters. Gotta add in a fun story. Gotta add in some drama.
Say that again.
If the boot fits.
In its own originality while also sticking to a format that works, as I mentioned in the last video, I absolutely love that. And that is something that I truly believe Toy Story 2 is able to do.
What are we gonna do, Buzz?
Use your head.
Bruh. But I don't want to use my head!
Now, as you know, I talk a lot about healing the inner child and reparenting your inner child, and so far throughout my 20s, I've been doing all kinds of things to do that. But why do it alone? Recently, I celebrated my older sibling's birthday, and yes, their birthday was on 6/7, I just have to point that out. We decided to get together, hang out, have a lovely time, and sit down and watch the first 3 Toy Story movies. I don't think I've watched a Toy Story movie since the 4th one came out in 2019, and while that movie does get a bad rap considering how it ends, I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's not my favorite ending personally. I think that is generally a pretty good movie, or at least a pretty decent Pixar movie. But after basically watching all 3 movies in a row, I couldn't help it. Toy Story 2 is maybe one of the greatest sequels of all time. I'm sorry, it just is. I'm sorry, Shrek 2. Besides the fact that the movie is just a fantastic journey they have to go on, from Woody being taken away at the yard sale, to Al's toy barn, in hopes to be shipped to a museum in Japan, to Buzz going on a rescue mission for his boyfriend, Woody. Oh, also really quick, I have to say a happy Pride Month to my truly inspiring toxic yaoi pair, Woody and Buzz.
Debo de haber estrellado y se me ha borrado la memoria.
We gotta switch him back.
You're telling me they don't want each other? Come on. Okay, I'm getting a bit distracted, but there's never a time where the plot feels flatlined, that's for sure. I haven't even talked about the true stars of this film. While yes, Woody and Buzz are the main characters, I have to talk about my main girl. Voiced by none other than Joan Cusack, my girl Jessie.
What's me?
As a very anxious person and as a very anxious child, there was few representation of a sort of tomboy-esque girl with really bad anxiety. Don't get me wrong, before Jessie, Rex was my anxiety representation and still is to this day. Gone.
Never gonna defeat CERN. But look at my so cute. How do you spell FBI?
Crime scene.
I didn't know there was a crime scene.
Gosh, I'm so maternal towards Rex. He's just a little guy. But Jessie was that cool, strong, independent girly who loved animals, her friends, and also had a big fear of abandonment as her kid Emily grew up and decided to stop playing with toys as she got older and donated her. One of the saddest scenes in cinema history plays. I literally cannot watch this scene without bawling my eyes out. I literally can't. I'm a very sensitive human being, and as someone who never really wanted to grow up, I can't do it. I still can't to this day. I also want to make a note that while we were watching this movie, my sibling and my mother decided to burst into laughter while I was holding back my tears. Over here trying to cope and just be silly and goofy. Meanwhile, I had the pain in the back of my throat when you're trying to not let yourself cry. That is a scene where you need to lock in, and those two did not lock in. Yeah, I'm calling y'all out, and yeah, I know you're watching this. How dare you? But I think Jessie's story is so underrated, not only in Toy Story 2, but in all the Toy Story movies. I know for a fact that the fifth movie touches a lot on her own news story and quest, and asking the question of did we need a fifth Toy Story? Well, I'm glad to see that we're getting more depth of who this Jessie really is. Her stepping up as the leader, being the sheriff of the room, and trying to conquer against this iPad. She's using her anxieties and fears, growing against them, in order to help her kid out. That I think does sound like a pretty good movie, but I'm getting way ahead of myself. Let's go back to Toy Story 2, shall we? And while this movie made me laugh like I did when I was a kid, as well as bawl my eyes out and get really frustrated with Stinky Pete, I just love any movie that's gonna make me feel all of the emotions. That's always gonna be on the top of my list. I like feeling a lot of things. I can't help it, alright? I think I owe a lot more of who I am to Toy Story, I'm not gonna lie. From the insane amounts of creativity to that childlike whimsy, all the way back to the cowboys and the Lunas of it all. Call me a Disney adult, call me a Pixar head, do what you want, I don't care. But I think there's nothing wrong with going back to something you once loved and loving it again. I was always someone who carried around my toys very, very proudly. Specifically this one Fiona action figure from either Burger King or McDonald's. She was holding a bouquet of flowers. I just always had to have her in my hand. And another shout out to my gender fluid bear, Teddy. Some days Teddy would be a boy and wearing a suit, and other days Teddy was a girl wearing fun little dresses. Teddy was whatever Teddy wanted to be, and I'm not totally sure where those toys are now. I hope that they're doing well and having a lovely life. But I still have one of my favorite childhood toys. Meet Tigry, everyone. Tigry is a big reason why I'm a big fan of cats. Obviously I grew up around cats, but Tigry is a huge reason why I've always really, really loved cats. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, Toy Story was my biggest thing as a child. I loved Toy Story. I have a vivid memory of walking up to my first grade teacher and asking, hey, do you prefer Toy Story 1 or 2? And she said, Toy Story is my favorite movie. And I went, alright, the second one's mine. Ever since I was a kid, I've been so intense about things. I don't know what's wrong with me, I'm sorry. But as I got older, as this movie actually touches on, the things I started to like were already things I was really bullied about. And the older you got, the less cool it was to like things related to Disney. So I cared a lot less about Toy Story, even though I loved it so much as a kid. And while I was excited to rewatch these movies, I really didn't think I was gonna be so locked in for it. Man, was I wrong. I also just love the idea that these movies are always portrayed through the lens of a child's imagination of, hey, what do they do when we go away? Because I'm a firm believer that when I walk away, all my trinkets come to life and they all hang out. At least I'd hope that'd be the case. And who wouldn't want to imagine what their toys would do and what adventures they go on? Just me? Alright, whatever. Oh my gosh, wait, I also have to mention my favorite part of Toy Story 2. Once the movie is finally over and we roll the credits, they play the blooper reel. How do they make that happen? Is it during times they messed up in the booth? Or do they write out a script to voice act some bloopers? I don't know.
Huh? Darn it, Woody!
But that is truly my favorite part. I don't know why I've always been so obsessed with that final part. Yeah, that's right. Toy Story. I'm gonna do that again. Yeah, that's right. It's not leaning on anything. What am I doing? Do you like my mug? I like my mug. I have to spin around again. Yeah. It's thumbnail. As you, yeah. When the little right. Hey there. Hey, I did a lot of talking, but thank you so much for watching the video. Sorry, the last 2 months the videos have come out a little bit later in the month. I apologize. Hopefully next month there's not only 1 video, but hopefully 2. And yeah, sometimes it's fun to travel back to things you once loved. And while unfortunately I haven't found my Woody, I did find my Buzz. Look at him! It doesn't work anymore. Oh my god, okay, I guess he does. He does miss his boyfriend, but he can hang out with his girlfriend for right now. I hope whenever you're watching this, you have a lovely rest of your day, and stick around for more. You know there'll be more. You know I'll be back. Mwahahaha.